Hello, Trinity Yogis. Today we're going to do a nice Hatha practice. If you have a block at home, it would be helpful. You don't have to have one, but if you have one, go ahead and grab it. So we'll just put that on the side, and we'll come on down to our seats. And then go ahead and find either a nice, easy crisscross, or you can have legs long, whatever feels nice here. And we'll settle in for a few minutes. So you can have a soft gaze on your mat, or you can have eyes closed. Let your shoulders release down and back, and let your palms either face the earth if you need to feel a little grounded here today, or maybe you need to receive something today. You can have palms up, and that also gives us a little space across the heart. So settle in here, maybe wiggle your booty a little bit, and settle the sits bones onto the mat. The crown of the head is really nice and tall. Shoulders are just dropping down and slightly pinching behind you. And then notice our breath. We're going to take today what's called a box breath. So it's a really nice way to hack into the parasympathetic nervous system, because the actual rhythm of this breath is what we go into when we're in REM sleep. The body recognizes this breath. So let's give it a try. On your first inhale, I want you to find an internal count of 4, filling all the way up to the top. Hold full for a count of 2. And then exhale for a count of 4. Draw the belly button into the spine. Hold empty at the bottom for a count of 2. And then we'll begin again. Inhale for a count of 4, filling all the way to the top. Hold for a count of 2. And exhale for a count of 4. Draw the belly button in. And hold empty at the bottom for 2. And begin again. So we'll all be at a little different breathing rhythm here, with our lung capacities are different. So take your internal count. You don't have to follow mine. And just notice here as we are coming into this rhythm, what's going on in maybe the mind. How are the thoughts today? It might be a little scattered depending on what we're doing before class. Maybe you're thinking about what you have to do after this class, so just check in with that and then allow that to fade into the background and come back into that count. Let that be the forefront here. You might notice then after a few rounds of breath that we have some cranky areas in the body, maybe the neck, shoulders, maybe something in the torso, lower legs, feet, the ankles, just noting what's here today. And as with any practice that we do, we always want to honor these spaces in our body. So if you have an area that might be needing a little bit more love today, or a little more attention, just notice it here, acknowledge it, and let it be. We'll take another 3 rounds of box breath. Wherever you are, take that last round, inhaling for 4. Hold at the top for 2. Exhale for 4. Hold empty at the bottom. And then let that breath go. And then remain with this nice deep breathing rhythm in and out for the rest of the practice. And we can use our breath as a little barometer. So as we come into maybe some more challenging poses, we may find that the breath is getting short, or we may be holding it. Then when you notice that, just go ahead and start to bring that nice deep breathing rhythm back into the body again. So from here, inhale those arms up nice and tall. And then as we exhale, you're going to just reach it forward, hinge at the hips. Notice where the hips want to lift. That's your hinge. Let the hands come to the earth. And just settle in here for a moment. Feel into that lower back. Maybe a little rock, maybe a little wiggle, or you can stay static. Keep the breath nice and deep. And then after a little while here, you might start to feel the lower back maybe give away. Maybe then you can bend to the elbows. You have your block nearby. If you're nowhere near the floor, maybe you use the block. So just be where you are here, settle in for a moment. Take a few deep breaths. Good, take one more inhale. Nice, long, complete exhale. And then on the inhale, we're going to slowly make our way all the way back up. If you have that prop, you can go ahead and take it to the right side of your body here. We're just going to open the side body for a little bit. So you might take that right forearm down to the block. If you don't need the block, you can come all the way down, lifting that left arm up and just finding a lean towards your right. And then think about letting that heart spiral open towards the ceiling. Keep that left glute attached to your mat. And then notice what's going on in the neck here. You might take that right ear and let it glide down a little bit more towards the right shoulder. So just kind of feel into the space. And if you want here, you can even take a little bit of movement with your breath. Maybe as you inhale, you open the heart up towards the ceiling a little bit as you reach through those left fingertips. And as you exhale, maybe just a little spiral forward, getting a little deeper stretch along those left intercostals. So take about 3 more deep rounds of breath here, with or without the movement. Notice that breath. If it's gotten short, keep it nice and long. Try to relax. Take one more big breath in. Good. As you exhale, use your left obliques to draw you all the way back up through center. Sit tall in the spine here just for a moment. Feel the difference between the length of the left and the right torso. Pretty apparent, right? Yeah, it wasn't even that much stretching. So let's get into the other side. Take that block down to your left side. And then you can take that left forearm there to the block, or you can take it to the ground as you lift that right arm up. And then find your reach here. Right glute is attached to the mat. Reach long through the right fingertips. And then again, you can just stay right here, or maybe you start to open up the heart towards the ceiling on the inhale, getting a little deeper sensation in the front of the torso, exhaling it. Keep reaching as you roll that armpit down maybe a little bit. So feel into the side. Take a few moments with your breath here and just let it open. And we're not forcing anything here, we're just easing into our edge on this side. Take 2 more rounds of breath, with or without movement. Good, deep inhale in. And then exhale, those right obliques are going to draw us all the way back up through center. Sit nice and tall, maybe close the eyes for a second. And just feel all that length you just created in the side body. Isn't that wonderful? Good. Go ahead and flutter the eyes open. And we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Keep that block somewhere up here by your mat so you can get a hold of it later. And then if you need to pad up your knees, you can go ahead and put a blanket under, or you can even roll your mat. Make a nice little cushion for the knees. Place the palms underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Look right down between your hands. And then we're going to take a little cat-cow here. So a little bend in the elbows, inhale, tip head and tail up. As you exhale, round it out. Good, so again, make these however you need them to be in your body. You might start to roll through this flexion and extension of the spine, and you might find some areas that need that little extra love we talked about before. So dangle in that space, wiggle it around. These cat-cows don't have to look any certain way. We're just opening up each vertebra, nice and easy. Again, you can have eyes open or soft gaze at the floor. Good. Take 1 more round in each direction. Good, and then as you inhale, we're going to come down to our bellies here. So if you had that mat folded underneath your knees, you might want to go ahead and unfold it. Take your hands a couple inches above where they are now, and we're going to slide the hips forward so the shoulders are in line with the hips. We have a nice flat back. Draw that core nice and tight. We're in a modified plank here. Just hold this for a few moments and breathe. A little strength in the arms. So we don't want to lock out here. I have like hyperextension behind my elbows, so I gotta be extra super careful here. So slight little tiny bend in the elbows, the core is drawing in tight, tailbone is drawing down towards the heels, shoulders are pinching slightly back. Take one more deep breath. As you exhale, we're gonna shave the ribs with the elbows. So tuck those elbows in towards the ribs and see how slowly you can lower the upper body to the earth. Take your time. Feel those triceps and everything kick in, and then we're gonna come all the way to the ground. Once we're here, the elbows are in towards the body, let your hands slide out towards the upper corners of the mat. So your hands are about a 45-degree angle, and we're drawing the heart forward, coming up and out of that lower back as we lift the heart. Good, coming into Sphinx pose here. We're gonna hold this for a little bit. So the shoulders, if you're wearing them up here, let them glide down the back. You're drawing the sternum forward, crown of the head is nice and tall. Neck is pretty neutral here. Shoulders are on, pressing into those forearms and palms. And then the action here, it's almost like you're lifting and lengthening. So you're pressing and then sliding forward and trying to get out of that lower back. So we're not crunching there. Keep breathing. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Good, one more inhale. Good, as you exhale, go ahead and come all the way down to the ground. We're gonna get a little front body stretch here for the shoulders and the pecs. So take your right arm, I'll be opposite you guys, your palm is gonna face the earth. And then you're gonna take your left hand next to your left ribs. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, press into the left palm and roll yourself onto your right side. Once you're here, see if you can maybe let that ear come to the ground. If you have your block nearby and you have a little creakiness going on in the neck, you can just allow that neck to rest. We're trying to get into this right pec here. So take this easy, and then you'll find here, if you have some shoulder issues that you can't go very far, you can also maybe lower that hand down towards your right hip, or you can glide it up a little further. So kind of feel where you need to be here with that right arm. And then if you want a little hip opener, you can take that left knee up to the ceiling and place the left toes behind that right knee. And just allow yourself to dangle here and breathe. If you want to take this right arm and take a little baby bind, you can take that, rolling that left shoulder head up to the ceiling. So we're laying here and we're breathing, opening up that right pec, maybe a little bit in the lower back and hip here. Notice if that breath has gotten short. Keep it nice and long. We're gonna be here for 3 more deep breaths. Notice if you're holding a lot of tension in your neck. Try to let that go. Big breath in. As you exhale, baby binds, go ahead and bring that left hand to the earth, roll back onto the belly, and then stack one palm on the mat, stack the other palm on the back of that hand, rest your forehead, bend your knees, and just windshield wiper out the legs. Let the neck be nice and neutral. Noticing the difference here from the left and the right pec. Take a couple deep breaths. Good. Now we'll get the other side, so let those legs go long. Take that left arm straight on out from your shoulder, and then that palm is facing the earth. That right palm is going to come next to your right ribs. And then just kind of feel into this side as you press onto your left side. And then here you'll know if you have to maybe wiggle that arm upper or lower. Maybe you press a little more into that right palm to get a deeper stretch. Maybe you take that right knee up to the ceiling, plant those right toes behind the knee, let the head drop or put it on a block if you need that here, and breathe into the side. Just let the body take on the shape that you're in. You're finding your edge here, and just breathe. Three more deep breaths. Deep breath in. Good. Exhale, go ahead and let that go on that side. Roll back onto the belly. Stack the opposite palm on top of the other. Rest your forehead. Bend your knees. Take a nice little windshield wiper side to side. Release the lower back. Noticing a little difference now with the pecs. May feel a little more evenly stretched, evenly open. Nice. Take a breath in. Good, let those legs go long. Bring those palms right next to your ribs. We're gonna take that modified plank reverse. Tuck those elbows in, shoulders draw down and back, and then let your toes go flat and let the knees be on the carpet, on the mat, and just push up nice and slow. Once you're here, let your hinge your hips back to your heels and take child's pose, wiggling out that lower back. So stay here for about 5 deep breaths. You can take your head in contact with your mat and just breathe here for a moment. I'm going to take a little spark. Take one more deep breath in. Nice long exhale. On your inhale, go ahead and look forward. We're preparing to come into downward facing dog. So spread the fingers wide, arms straight and strong, press the floor away, curl the toes, and then start to straighten the legs. So once you straighten those legs, you can have a bend here in the knees if you need it. Those hemis might be super tight still, so keep that bend. Otherwise, you're gonna let the heels rest down towards the earth. They might not touch, that's okay. Draw that belly button in nice and tight. Really think about pressing the earth away and root into all 4 points of the palms all the way out to the fingertips. The head, nice and heavy, let it dangle, give it a shake here. Draw that belly button in. And think about pressing your upper ribs back towards your upper thighs to get as much weight out of the wrists here. If you start to see little ringlets on the wrists, that might mean that you're putting a little too much weight on there. You might be too forward. So then just press the upper ribs back and you can start to feel the weight come out of the wrists. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Good, one more inhale. Nice, exhale, come all the way back down to your knees. Good. From here, go ahead and take a couple cat-cows, let that back settle. It's a nice decompression for the whole spine when we do those downward facing dogs, letting the weight of the head kind of stretch the spine. Good, one more, inhale up. And exhale round. Good, so let's heat up those shoulders a little bit here. We're gonna come down to our forearms, and then we're gonna grab opposite elbows with opposite hands, and that'll give us proper alignment with the shoulders to be right over the elbows. And then go ahead and take your hands and clasp them, let the pinky be tucked under so you don't crush your pinky. And then for dolphin, root into those arms, press that earth away. You're gonna feel some space come between the shoulders and the ears. Curl your toes under, and then it's almost like downward dog, but we're on our forearms, start to straighten your legs. Once you're here, you can maybe start to walk those feet a little closer to your elbows, really getting a nice deep shoulder strengthening. So let your head be a little loose here. The head is dangling, it's not touching anything, not the mat, not your hands, it's just dangling here into space. Take about 5 more deep breaths. If you want to try a little something while you're here, you can center that left toe and try to take that right leg up for a 3-leg dog. Take a deep breath. Exhale that right leg down, center. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bring it down. Take 1 more breath. And exhale, come all the way down to the knees. Keep your forearms rooted into the mat here, and then stretch the glutes back towards your heels. And then as you're rooting into those forearms, you're gonna feel a nice stretch right from the tips of your scapula blades all the way up as you draw yourself back and press the arms into your mat. So take about 5 deep breaths here, just allow the shoulders to settle. Nice, take one more breath. Nice long exhale. Go ahead and unclasp those hands, plant the palms. Inhale, come up into tabletop. Curl the toes, we're back in downward facing dog. We're gonna hold it here, walk it out a little bit, maybe bend one knee at a time. Some of you might like to get a little more core involved here, so you can come up onto your tippy toes, let those knees hover about an inch off the floor. Inhale it up, let the heels drop. So you can walk the dog or you can do that little movement here. We're gonna take 5 more breaths wherever we are. Or you can stay static too. Some people might just come in the dog and be like, hey, this dog feels awesome. I'm gonna stay right here. Nice, take one more big breath. Good, as you exhale, look forward between the hands. Go ahead and bend the knees and start to walk those feet all the way up. Walk the hands all the way back. Nice deep bend here, let the belly rest on the thighs. If you want here, you can grab opposite elbows again. And make a little picture frame for your head. And just maybe rock it out. Maybe a yes and a no with the head. Little decompression for the cervical spine. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release the arms down, rooting into the feet here. So we're gonna think about the toes lifting, spreading, and then setting back down on our mat. And then start to allow the weight to come all the way into the heels. Keep those toes nice and light. You should be able to wiggle them. And we're coming straight up into Utkatasana chair. Sink into your chair. Draw the belly in. Draw the shoulders down the back. Draw those fingers to the ceiling. If this is not going well for your shoulders, just go ahead and modify and bring them to your heart. Find your edge here. We're gonna take 5 deep breaths. If you have your knees together, big toes touch, you can create even more heat here. Squeeze those legs together. Breathe deep. Weights in the heels, back is flat. One more deep breath in. Nice long exhale. As you inhale, root into the feet, raise it up nice and tall. Find a little back bend here, maybe eye gaze is up. Good, exhale, come back to neutral. Let your palms face forward, cactus arms like you're trying to scrape the back wall with your elbows. Feel those pecs. Get a nice deep stretch. Take your time. And then eventually, the elbows will come down by the sides. Go ahead and clasp your hands behind you. So you can either interlace fingers, you can grab opposite wrists, opposite elbows. We're just trying to open the front of the body here. Draw the shoulders down and back. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, start your fold. So you can keep the hands on the lower back. You can have a bend in the knees here, let the belly rest on the thighs. If you want a little larger shoulder opener here, you're gonna start to try to keep your palms together if you can. And then you can start to take those knuckles all the way up to the ceiling. Start to draw the crown of the head towards the earth. If that's not feeling good for the shoulders, just stay right here with the hands on the lower back. Take 3 more breaths. Good, big inhale in. Exhale, release those hands all the way down to the earth. Root into those feet again, toes are light. Inhale, Utkatasana chair pose, sink. Sink and maybe a little deeper this time. See where your edge is at. Shoulders down, back is flat. So if I came up to you right now, I could lay a board on your back. The back of the head and the back of your spine would be in line. So we're not rounding here, we're not like way up here. Take 3 more breaths. Sink in a little more. Squeeze the knees if you can. Create some heat. Good, big breath in. Long exhale. Take it up, inhale. Nice little back bend. Stretch the front of the body. Exhale, come to neutral. Let those palms face forward one more time. Scrape the back of your room with your elbows. Take this slow. Really feel all those striation Muscles along the pecs getting a stretch as the elbows come down to your sides. Take the hands behind, opposite wrists, elbows, whatever you got here. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, dive in. Good. Maybe this time, the hands might start to lift a little bit off the back if that's available. No biggie if it's not. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades behind you. So even though we are in a forward fold, we're actually in a heart opener, which is really interesting stuff in our bodies because we're activating the sympathetic nervous system with a heart opener, and we're using our breath and our forward fold to access the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rewiring all these new neurological pathways. Really cool stuff. Take one more inhale. Nice. Exhale, just allow the hands to come all the way down, forward fold. Let the head dangle, give it a little rock, a little roll. And then inhale all the way up, reverse swan dive, root into the feet. Maybe a little baby back bend here. Exhale, bring it to heart. Good, find mountain pose here for a moment. So let your fingertips reach to the floor, shoulders down and back, opening across the heart. Root into the feet, lift the toes, spread them wide, set them on your mat. Think about drilling down into your mat with your legs, so feel the weight of your body here, anchor, and then really turn on the quadriceps and think about trying to spread your mat apart like peanut butter under your feet. I got that one from Allie V. So spread that apart and feel the legs engage. Tall through the crown of the head. Think about sending that tailbone slightly down towards the heels, getting a little release in the lower back, core is on. Breathe. All right, take one more deep breath in. Nice, long exhale. If the eyes are closed, go ahead and flutter them open. And we're gonna try a little balance today. So we worked about opening up some of the front of the body. So let's maybe try Royal Dancer today. What do you think? If you need a wall or a prop, you can use a chair. If you got some balance stuff, so go ahead and grab that. Otherwise, we'll all meet right here on the mat when you go and grab that. You can always pause me. We're gonna start on the left leg. I'll be opposite from you. So spread the toes on that left foot and spread them wide and set them down on the mat and then anchor in through that left leg. So we're nice and rooted, come up onto the ball of the right foot. And then find mountain pose here for a moment. So we're still in that nice tall posture, strong and steady. And then we're just gonna start to lift the right heel towards the right glute. Reach back with the right hand. You can have the palm facing out so that you can grab the inner arch of the foot. Some people like to grab the top of the foot. So figure out what type of foothold you want here, and then draw those knees back together. Now, focus is gonna be really important here. So I like in this one to find maybe a spot on the floor that I can kind of move towards. You can look on the wall if you want, but I'm looking right at that spot on the floor. So from here, kind of keep the chest forward, knees are in, you're holding onto that foot. Inhale that left arm up nice and tall. And then think the front of the body is staying open here as we start to hinge forward. Take your time as you move into this one. As we start to come into it, you press the top of that right foot into that right hand as you reach long through the left fingers. And you're starting to get into the quads here a little bit, through the front of the body. Lots of stabilizer muscles are working in that left leg. I can certainly feel mine here working today. Take 3 more deep breaths. Watch that breath, see if it's shallowed or stopped. Take 1 more inhale. And then try as gracefully and mindfully as you can to come out of this, nice and slow, and let that side go. Woo, right? Take a connecting breath in. Exhale through center. We're just wiping the slate clean on that side. 2 more inhales. Exhale through center. Good, 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now, you guys who've been in my classes, you always hear me say this. One side's always different from the other. I don't know why, but it's never failed to amaze me that one day I might nail a posture on one side and the other side's just wonky. It depends on, who knows, the phase of the moon, what you ate for breakfast, all that stuff. So Try this side, root into that right leg, spread the toes, make that imprint on your mat strong in that right quad. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. And then take that left hand and face it out, maybe grabbing the arch. Or you can flip it and grab the top, whatever feels good. Knees come together. Nice and tall, open through the front of the body. Find that drishti gaze, that spot that you're going to move towards here. Lock in. Now take that right arm up. Find that length. You can stay here. You don't got to go any further than this. This is a big balance posture. If you're ready to maybe move in a little bit, start to move towards the earth by keeping the front of the body open, and you're going to press that left foot back and reach long through the right fingers. And we're still breathing. So we're breathing, we're holding, we're balancing. It's got a lot going on here. Try to find that stillness in the center of this whole storm. We're going to take 3 more deep breaths. If you come out, it's okay. Just come back in. 1 more deep breath. Exhale, and then slow and controlled. Descent or ascent, and then let that go. Ooh, that was fun. Inhale. Exhale through center. Inhale it up. Exhale through center. Good, last one, inhale. Exhale, we're going to forward fold all the way down to the earth. Good. Plant those hands, let those knees be bent, step back, downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk that out, let that whole back decompress a little bit. And then from here, we haven't done much for the hips yet. We're going to come into pigeon pose. So I'll show you regular pigeon first, and then if that's not working out for your knees, I'll give you a modification. So on your inhale, center your left foot, raise that right leg up. Just tip the hip open a little bit here, maybe press that right foot towards the left wall. Keep the shoulders even. Weight is even in both hands. Take 1 more breath. Exhale, straighten that leg, even the hips, and then take that right knee and bring it all the way up to this right wrist. And then this right foot can come anywhere between the left wrist and the left hip. So we're gonna wiggle, 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 wiggle that left leg back long. Set the top of that left foot down. And then right here, you might have a big space in between your butt and the floor. If that's the case, you can always take a block or a pillow or your dog's leg, whatever's in front of you, and just fill that gap in. Put some mortar in there, and then walk those hands back towards you. We're going to stay nice and tall here. So there's all kinds of variations that you can do in this one. So if you're here and you're like, oh, this is killing my knee, then come out of it, of course. And those of you who are in pigeon, just stay here for a moment. If you don't want to do that full one, you can come down to your spine. You can take that right heel on top of the left thigh, and then just slowly start to draw that left knee towards you. You can maybe clasp hands behind the thigh, maybe behind the shin. So this is the same thing here, but you're not taking all that body weight and getting it into that right knee. For those of you who are here in full pigeon, some of you guys have all kinds of fancy pigeon stuff that you can do, those heart openers. I don't do that stuff because I'm old. No, I'm just kidding. I am old, but I don't do that stuff anymore. But you can bend this left foot, and some people can like grab onto that. You can stay here, and then there's this king pigeon where you can tuck that foot to the elbow and you can raise. I mean, you guys that have that in your practice, go for it. This is not a advanced power class or anything, but if you have it, take it. Otherwise, we're just staying here, allowing that hip to open. You can have a little wiggle. And then maybe eventually, you can bring the front of the body down. If you want, you can have forearms on something. If you don't need that, you can come all the way to the earth. And then maybe the forehead comes down. So wherever you are, just find yourself here in a nice, easy, gentle place where you can breathe for a good 10 long breaths. So really don't cheat yourself here. Let those breaths be long. Let them be full. Maybe close your eyes and maybe take that inner sight inside the body and bring it to wherever you feel the deepest sensation of the stretch, which is probably the right hip, I'm guessing. So take the mind's eye there. And then think about the inhale, creating some space in that right hip. And the exhale, allowing that space to relax and release. This is where the breath really is important. There's the breath with sound, that Ujjayi breath we can utilize by letting the vocal cords in the back of the throat constrict on the exhale. You make that ocean sound. That's another hack for the parasympathetic nervous system. It helps facilitate muscle relaxation response in the body. It also gives the mind a little something to hold on to, that sound of the breath. Keeps the chatter in the mind a little bit lower sometimes. Instead of thinking of things like, when are we getting out of this? Let that stuff go. Just follow the breath here. We'll stay for another 5 deep breaths in and out. We take one more deep breath in. Nice, long, complete exhale. And inhale, if the head's down, go ahead and lift it up. Come onto the forearms, eventually onto the palms. Let the front of the body rise. Curl your left toes under. Press the earth away so you can make some room for that right leg to come all the way back. And walk that out. Feel the difference now between that left and the right hip. If you're on your back in pigeon, just stay where you are. You can hug the knees in and we'll get the other side here in a moment. Good. So when you're ready, go ahead and take that left leg up. Open up the hip, bend the knee, even weight in the palm. So notice if you start doing this number, we're not flipping our dogs or anything. We're just staying right here, opening the hip by drawing that left knee up. Pressing that left foot towards the right wall. It's almost like you got a little orange in between your left butt cheek and your left heel and you're trying to squeeze it. Take one more breath. Good, straighten that leg and then start to draw that left knee towards the left wrist. Right foot is flexed and it lands in between the right wrist and the right hip. So long, wiggle, wiggle that right leg back. And then notice if you have a gap. One side's different, right? This one's not my good side. So just kind of settle in here. You fancy pigeoners, go ahead and do your fancy stuff. If you want to open, bend that knee, grab that foot on the right. Do your thing. If you're taking mine, we're just gonna let the weight of the body here sink for a few breaths. Start to feel the opening happen in that left hip. And then you might choose to use your prop on the side. Maybe you stay a couple breaths, you start to find a little opening, some space come in, and then you can come down a little more. So take it in gradients. You can take your time working into these postures. You don't gotta go full Monty right into it. You can just kind of ease your way into the pose and always give yourself permission to back out if you need to. If you come into one side, and you're like, geez, this isn't feeling right at all, come on back out. Don't ever push anything because then you're probably not gonna be doing yoga for a couple days if you push too hard. So we wanna be able to practice every day that we can by taking care of our bodies. Good, so you fancy pigeons, if you're there, maybe all of us will start to make our way down a little deeper and settle in here, coming into a little bit more of a yin style. Just kind of holding pose and breathing. See if you can get your forehead to come to the mat if you can. And then when you're down here, notice there's a lot of tight stuff going on. Notice where you're holding that tension. It might be not in the hip, it might be up here in the upper body, you might be clenching your jaw. So notice that if it's there, and then let that release. Nice deep breathing. Notice the mind and the chatter here. Maybe start that ujjayi breath, that nice breath with sound, lengthening. Each inhale as deep as you can. Nice, long, complete exhales. We'll stay here for 5 more deep breaths. Make them count. Beautiful. Take one more breath in. Long exhale. As you inhale, slowly make your way up. If you're all the way down on your back, you can stay right there. If you're here, just go ahead and land on that left hip and draw that right leg around. And we're going to make our way all the way down to our spine. So go ahead and take your time. Come all the way down. I'm going to turn sideways. So you get my good side. Good. And from here, go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. And then give yourself a little rock, maybe a little roll. Maybe just roll those knees out. Let the head and the shoulders be nice and weighted on your mat. And then take those circles the opposite direction, just a few rounds. And then we'll have an opportunity here to open the front of the body one more time. So you have some options. We can take reverse tabletop or bridge, I'm sorry. You can take your feet to the mat, they're hip width apart. You can see if you can graze your heels with your fingertips here, and then palms are in the earth. And inhaling, just roll that spine up towards the ceiling. If you're here, you can tuck the shoulders underneath you, maybe clasp those hands. This is really good for all those stabilizing muscles around the kneecaps. Stay here if this is you and breathe. If you want to come into full wheel here, if you have it, you're going to take your palms next to your ears. Fingers are going to face your shoulders. And then when you're ready, you're going to press all the way up and hold. So wherever you are, go ahead and take about another 5 really deep breaths. I'm going to stay right here. Good, take one more breath in. If you have the hands that are laced, slowly let them come apart and lay one vertebra at a time down to your mat. If you're in wheel, release, come all the way down. And then we're going to take happy baby here, releasing that lower back. So go ahead and bring your knees to your chest, let them be wide. Bring your elbows to the insides of your knees, grab onto either your ankles, your feet. If not, none of this works, you can just grab behind your thighs. So try to draw your knees to the earth, feet are facing up. Try to get your ankles over your knees, and then you can stay static. You can rock a little side to side. Your shoulders and your head are heavy here. You can make these movements really big. Some people like to do these numbers, so just close your eyes and enjoy this lengthening in the lower back for a few breaths. Allowing everything to ground back down into the mat. Take 2 more breaths. Go ahead and release those feet. Draw the knees in nice and tight. And then take the right arm around the shins, goalpost along with that left arm. We're going to take a little twist to the right. So if you need a prop, you have that block or pillow or whatever you need here, take a breath in. Exhale, take those stacked knees over towards your right. This is where you'll know if that left shoulder head is popping up. That's where you will know you'll need a little prop on the outside of that right hip so you can land and soften. And then sometimes it just takes a few breaths for the spine to start to release, and then you can let that go, and you can let those knees stack and drop. Maybe the eye gaze will go towards that left extended hand, and you'll get a complete spiral in the spine from the top of the head all the way to the tail. Breathe, feel that nice opening across that left pec. Take one more deep breath in. On the exhale, bring the head back to center. Let that left knee come on up first. Right knee will follow. Realign the spine here in the center for a moment. If you know you might need that prop on the other side, transfer it there to the left now. And then you're going to go ahead and wrap that left arm around the shins, goal poster long with that right arm. Deep breath in. And exhale, drop those stacked knees towards your left. Notice how that right shoulder head is either popping up or it's staying on the mat. It's popping up, you want to prop up. Yeah, I should make a shirt. Pop up and prop up. Take a couple nice deep breaths here. Maybe eye gaze goes towards that right extended hand. You can use this left hand like I am to kind of weight that top knee down. Feeling a nice stretch along that outer IT band into the lower back, across that right pec. Deep breaths. Nice. Take one more big breath in. On the exhale, allow that right knee to come on up, left knee follows, head's in center. Realign the spine for a moment, make any little rocks or rolls that you feel you need to. And then just for a moment here, we're gonna plant those feet on the ground. Again, maybe you can graze the heels with the fingertips. Bring the knees and the feet together. You can have hands on the belly, you can have hands overhead, and maybe see if those feet will stay touching and let the knees fall open to the sides. We're going to stay here for another 10 nice long deep breaths, trying to open up everything that we maybe didn't open yet in the front of the body. And then you can choose to stay here if you want for your Shavasana, or when you're ready, maybe you start to take those legs, slide them down the mat, let those arms come nice and wide out to your sides. Let the head and shoulders be nice and heavy on your mat, so you can stay in your Shavasana here as long as you need to. And we will see you again very soon. Miss you guys. Namaste.